There's a film simulation quietly resting in our Fujifilm cameras, always there but almost always ignored and forgotten. It's called sepia. Yes, that strange, faded brown color we often pass by without a thought. But recently, I forced myself to give it a try, and what it revealed wasn't just about photography. It touched something more personal. Maybe we've avoided this color not because of how it looks, but because of what it might show us. Something honest, something we usually keep hidden. So please stay with me as we go through the photos in sepia. It's worth seeing what this forgotten tone might uncover. But before I share what I discovered shooting in sepia, let's learn where this color came from. Sepia is named after the cuttlefish, a sea creature that releases a dark brown ink when it feels afraid. In the 1800s, a German artist, Jacob Siedelmann, improved the way it was made to be used in watercolor and oil paints. In the 19th century photography, sepia became essential. Photos are dipped in a sepia bath to make it last longer, giving that warm brown tint in the process. But when color photography arrived in the 20th century, sepia quietly slipped away. It was seen as old, even unnecessary. And yet, like many forgotten things, it waits, lonely, quiet, and patient, ready to show us something we may have missed. During my recent trip to Osaka with my wife, I thought I'd give sepia a try. Not because I expected to fall in love with it, just out of curiosity, maybe even as a kind of small challenge, to use what others overlook. So I set my Fujifilm X100 to sepia. The first few photos, honestly, they were hard to look at. My eyes hurt. The tones felt weird, cringy even. It's like my brain is rejecting the image. But I didn't stop. I adjusted the shadows and the highlights, then added a bit of grain and tried shooting again. Then something began to change. Photo by photo, it started to feel okay. Then, after a few dozen more than okay. After 100 shots, I began to see what I hadn't before. Sepia isn't just a color, it's a feeling. It is strange, but it is enchanting. Even the videos I took feels the same way. Looking at the photos later, I remembered something from my childhood, when I was a kid, when we are at my grandparents' house. They had old photo albums, images from the 1950s and 60s. Time had changed their colors. They were not black and white, not full color either. They had that soft brown tone that really showed their age. And as a child, I would look at those photos and wonder, what was life like back then? Who were these people? What did they do? What was the moment they are in at the time of the picture? And now, looking at the photos that I took, sepia brought that feeling back. Sepia is a little like black and white, but different. Black and white is clear, formal, sometimes even dramatic and artistic. Sepia is hard to describe. It is not punchy, but it is not soft either. It looked sadder, maybe, for lack of better term, but not sad in a heavy way. It makes me feel nostalgic. That longing for long-gone moments, and being so homesick with a desire to be back at home with family. This sepia color is mesmerizing and gives that antique look and feeling. It carries a deeper kind of memory. Not just remembering what something looked like, but what it felt like with a big splash of melancholy. A big splash of melancholy. To be honest, sepia may not be for everyone. It doesn't look as great as classic chrome. It doesn't pop like Velvia. It doesn't have that Instagram perfect contrast. In today's world, where every image is polished and precise, sepia feels unfinished. But maybe that's the point, because life isn't always polished. And memory doesn't stay sharp forever. It fades, it softens, and somehow sepia captures that. Using sepia didn't make me feel cool. It made me feel something else. It made me appreciate the present moment more in a different way. Because I knew, just like those old photos in my grandparents' house, this moment too would fade. Even I will be gone. All will be left are these faded memories deeply ingrained in pictures. And maybe that's not sad. Maybe that's beautiful. I'm glad I took those photos in sepia. They remind me. This time in my life. This walk through Osaka. This feeling I had with my wife by my side. It mattered. And now, it lives somewhere between memory and emotion. Somewhere in the warm, quiet tone of sepia. Have you tried sepia before? How was it? If not, I encourage you to try it at least for a day of shooting. Feel free to use the recipe I made as shown here. And if you can, please share your experience. Thank you for watching.